All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Stu and the crew. This season is going to be a special season. It's going to be full of sharp stories, a lot of laughter, real laughter. Because that always comes first, in my opinion. You got to laugh because this life is too serious sometimes. So you got to laugh through it. But today's guest, I'm going to have a good time with this guy. First episode, week 1, 2025, Carolina Panthers affiliation. You know him. He was a guy that was locking down receivers. He was also a guy that was barking at receivers. He's been a part of pop culture in some extreme ways. He's a guy that's gone through a lot of adversity. He's a guy that I look at as an individual that brings nothing but inspiration to the game of football. None other than number 24 on the jersey, number 1 in your hearts, Joshua Ricardo Norman. Ricardo,
Oh,
what's up, dog? Hey, man.
You use my government name, my
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
government.
the whole government. Everybody know who you
God,
are, man.
dog. Yeah,
How you
man.
doing, man?
Man, I'm hanging, brother. I'm hanging, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
see that.
got me outside, brother.
Yeah, you ain't nobody. Don't nobody get you on the pods these days, huh?
Nobody
So this is
ever
like
gets me
this
on
is
the
like a
box.
very we are blessed to have you, huh?
Dude, listen, man. I just it's so crazy. Um, I think probably like five, not even five, yeah, maybe 8 years ago. So I tried to get me to do a pod, and for some odd reason, like I just never was on that tip or that mind state to just go out and do it because I always been of the notion of like everybody got a mic, but they don't got nothing to say.
Yeah.
And so it's just become this whole like, oh my gosh, it's a river. Everybody got something going on. And
Right.
everybody want to talk about their experiences and what they got. Like, and that's all fine and dandy, but at the same time, what are you gaining? What are we doing? Are we inspiring somebody, like you said earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Are we giving somebody, some bread that they can, chew on, they can take back and they can go through and decipher and
Yeah.
help them in life?
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that for me, and it's just they get so saturated, and some
Mm-hmm.
people just have them just for a money tip, but not the message that's behind it.
Right.
And that's the big thing about when you do these, and that's why I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, Jay Stu, I'm
You
locked
do
in,
anything
brother.
for me, right? My
Listen,
God.
man,
Well, I
that
appreciate
that
it, man.
time.
Because look, I was talking to Matt here. Matt actually runs the show. He's the producer here. Um, but he asked, like if me and you were close, and I was like, yeah, man, we shared a lot of hot tub experiences together. Pause. But post practice, pre practice, that's where I really got to understand who you were as a player, but more importantly as a person, and who you were on the field, man. Were complete different people in the sense of who you were off the field, in my opinion. Um, and I want to get into that because I think that's important for our listeners, especially those young athletes out there. How do they tap into greatness, right? I want to get to that later, but what I would like to do is bring in the current situation right now, right? Week one for the Carolina Panthers. They're going to Jacksonville. All right. I don't know if you've seen the hoopla of like all the things about what it means for the Carolina Panthers to be facing off week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars with the history of the Super Bowl, right? The year we went to the Super Bowl, we played Jacksonville week 1. And it was also the same year that J-Lo got divorced and all these other things, right? So everything's kind of, in theory, stacking the way it's supposed to, right? But I want to talk to you about Jacksonville in our 2015 season and some of the similarities in the mindset that needs to be brought from, the standpoint of defense, right? Because obviously last year, the Carolina Panthers, they had struggles, right? And they went into this offseason, got some guys, brought them on staff, and hopefully they can get this thing going strong, right? But 2015, we had a guy named Luke Kuechly go down, right? And the previous year, I would say Josh Norman started cooking. 2014, 2015, that thing was ready to go. Talk to us about the guy that has to rise to the occasion when adversity happens, especially to start off on the right foot.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I was able to get on the field and play in 2014 because 13, man, we was sitting down on the and it was so crazy because we was on a 53 roster. We was on a 53-man roster. We was playing on the practice squad. So it was so weird. And I know they was trying to hide me at that time so nobody else would get me.
Mm-hmm.
But 14 was just that was just a breakthrough of me just getting on the field, getting my feet wet. And then 15 was just, I mean, floodgates was open at that point.
Yeah.
I could do whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it. And the mindset of that was to attack, attack, attack. It was nothing else more than that I wanted was just to attack the opponent till he tapped out. And that was the mindset. And I wanted to create as much havoc as I could and have my own persona, right? And I think that was the biggest thing for me was that dark night mindset, like that
Mm-hmm.
mode. Like when I went dark, that's when I went to a certain place. And I think, as athletes, you got to tap into that. You got to have a repertoire, as I would like to call it, around you and your belt, like a tool belt. And you got to dig deep inside your tools from everything that you worked on, all the experiences that you had that led up to that moment, all the things that you've been working on when nobody else was watching you. That's when you bring that to the field and you let it all hang out. And when you can do that, you've shown that you have and not only protected, but perfected your technique and
Mm-hmm.
what you've been working on. And so for me, that's kind of the main mindset around that you have to take going inside of that game, man.
Yeah, we have some young guys. We got Ransom at safety. We got Corey Thornton, who's kind of a guy like you. But the difference is this guy was undrafted, right?
There's no 31.
Yeah,
Huh.
he's a bigger corner. And he made some noise in preseason, and now he's found himself a roster spot.
Yeah.
What are some things that you see about um, things that younger corners have to get over early as far as being able to be a contributor to a football team, especially for a guy like Thornton?
Not being afraid to fail. I think not being afraid of the big moment,
Mm-hmm.
the big play, um, is yours. You got to take it, and that is the biggest thing for a young corner. I would say is the fear of not letting go. Um, you have to let go of something. You gotta throw something in there. You gotta throw your weight around. You gotta throw somebody around. Something gotta be thrown or dropped off to where let them know that I'm here and I'm not to be played with
Right.
or to be messed with. Like, and that's the biggest thing because people gonna try you. Everybody's gonna try you. Why? Because you're a rookie. You're like you're always gonna try you because you're young.
Mm-hmm.
You're not experienced yet. You don't got the stripes. You don't have a name. No one knows you. You're nobody.
Mm.
How do you come from out of the shadows? How do you come from out of the grind that you've been putting in to
Mm.
be able to come to a field, come to the game where everybody now starts to know your name? And that's the biggest thing. It's just the stuff that you've been doing, you've been working in secrecy, bringing it to the field and showing that, and then doing it over and over and over again. To now it becomes second nature. So now, oh shoot, if I go at this guy, I know what I'm gonna get. He's gonna try me. I know what I'm gonna get, and that's what you got to build with yourself, and that's when it becomes a name to where I'll think twice of doing that.
Right. So being from Greenwood, small town,
Yeah,
right? Where nobody, I don't even know where that's at, but you do, and that's all that matters because that's where
yeah,
you're from.
yeah.
But is that where you get that mindset from? You said the words train and secrecy, which
Mhm.
is something that a lot of people these days don't do. They like to
No,
train and show it and
yeah.
and, and brag about it. Um,
Mhm.
where did you get that mindset? Because I know it just didn't come out of thin air. It had to be practiced early. It had to be shown to you early.
Well, I mean, I trained in silos pretty much my whole life. So, growing up with me, my five brothers, yeah, they will always, take my lunch. They was always bullying me. They'll always, want to outdo me. So I played up. I was young, but I played with the older guys, so I had to catch up. So I was always doubted. I was always pretty much the outcast in that regime. But as time grew on, I started to understand that listen, nobody's gonna give me anything. I gotta work for everything I got. And so you may not see me because all the other guys, all my others got the light shined upon them. I had to work extra hard just to be noticed. But mine came through my work ethic and when I had to do things where nobody else was there. I remember cutting grass in my backyard when nobody else was there. And what I mean by cutting grass is put on some cleats, and then tear up the yard. I don't mean by the
Yeah,
mowing,
you
no.
wasn't mowing lines. You was over there. You was
Cleats.
over there messing up the yard, putting mud
Yes.
putting mud stains on your shorts.
Mud puddles in the yard real quick. So I was doing that. I remember doing that when I was in high school. And then when I got to college, I remember one day they cut lights off on me.
Mm.
And I was out there that long and I still was going at it. It was just me, the bag and the balls and the cones and just running around still doing drills. But that's what it takes, man. I didn't have no cameras. I didn't have none of that stuff because for me, it was a destiny. I knew I needed to meet. I knew I needed to be at a certain place because that one time when those like do come on, all the stuff that I worked in silos, like that's gonna come to fruition. That's gonna show itself up. And that's when I know like I can do anything and everything because I put the work in, I put the time in, I put things in that like counted and made it the most. And just guys that I wish, some of the guys we can give that to be
Hmm.
able to show like you don't have to put everything on IG. You don't have to put everything on Facebook. You don't have to put the things that showing that you've been working. Like, nah, man. Like when you hit that field, that's what matters. When
Yeah.
you in between those white lines, that's what really matters. Like, and it goes to a sense where I see DBs now, and it's just like, man, what are we doing? But then I see others that's like, they technicians of the game, and it's no coincidence. So there's no reason you can't see why they're not successful
Hmm.
because they put in the work and you can see that day in and day out. And so that's the beauty of being able to see the whole makeup of someone's transitioning when they take a huge leap from where they were to where they are today.
Yeah. Got to put that work in. I remember, watching you when you got to the Carolina Panthers and showing up in practice here and there. It's like, oh, this young guy, this guy we got. I mean, he's big. He's a big corner. I remember the things that they were saying about you. Like he's a little slow. He's a little cocky. He's all these things. Like as you're going through growing pains as a player that has this dream of being great and you've put in all this work from college, being a walk-on, like all this stuff, man. And then you get to the pros and it's like, all right, here comes another hill I gotta climb, right? What is the main thing that keeps you on the main thing?
Because future, because fortune, I'll say this, because fortune always favors the bold.
Mm, mm. Yes, I knew you were gonna give me something. Listen,
Oh, dog.
bro.
Fortune always favors the bold dog.
Yeah.
Like, if you just go and do, that is I wouldn't even say 99%. That is 100% of people's problem today.
Mm-hmm.
The not doing or the not taking that step.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like the saying, you miss 100% of shots that you don't take. And for me, it didn't matter who it was or what it was. Like I said, I wasn't running around it. I wasn't running over it. I was running through it because that's how it had to be. It was
Mm-hmm.
no other way. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I didn't come here just to come here. No, I came here to put an imprint, a stamp on my space, my place, my footpath that it won't be duplicated
Mm-hmm.
because of what I've done and what I was able to create for myself. And you got to psych yourself out that much in order to be able to have something that you can call great in your own right. And I don't go around professing that. I just put my work out there and let it show for itself.
Mm-hmm.
People like it, some don't. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But I guarantee you, if we step between those lines, you're gonna know I've been there.
Right. And it's crazy because a lot of people look at Josh Norman and they say, "Man, instant success." But this wasn't just instant. This was a life. This was a lifestyle of just tapping in to what you just said, which is just being bold, being a doer, right? A lot of
Mhm.
and people don't accomplish things because they're non-doers. I like what you said, bro. Um, Bryce Young, like knowing your story, knowing your DNA. When you look at Bryce Young, what what about him? Or first of all, just what do you give me your thoughts on him and where he's at now and where he's been brought from.
Well, I'll say, looking at Bryce coming into a situation that he did come into, that's a tall task for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I only seen one other person, kind of do something like that. Obviously, that was Cam. It was crazy stuff. But
Oh, we're gonna get the Cam.
that was crazy. But like coming in and trying to take an organization, or obviously the lights is on the cue, right? And everything goes by how the cue goes. Um, it's it's to come around and rally around that we brought in and to put players around said persons to be successful. Because coming as a rookie, I don't care who you are or what position you play,
Yeah.
especially that one. It's gonna be like you're not supposed to go out here and like throw like 40 touchdowns, 40 and 10, right? And like run for or throw for like 3,000, 4,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like 500 yards rushing. That's not like that is an anomaly, right? That's an anomaly.
Especially if you look at the roster now, there is nobody that plays receiver on this roster that was on the roster his rookie year. Completely wiped out.
That goes to saying like, there was nobody there in that space and time that would have been able to do that. I mean, I know who was that? Man, number two. Why am
DJ
I?
Moore.
DJ Moore. DJ was there at one point in time, but like that was just, because I was there. No. I think it was another time. But at the same time, he was a little comfort, but it was no substantial person to be able to, you know, show him the way in a
Right.
way. You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had to figure it out in a sense.
Like how
And now
Cam had Greg Olson.
Cam, hey, come on, bro. Cam had all of
Yeah.
come on. He
Mm-hmm.
had Jordan Gross for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Ryan
Like he
Khalil.
had like tight end, like Olsen, I mean, he had all the guys. Come on, let's be real. Like John Beeson, like still he had, Bro, he had so many people that was able to help him out and be able to navigate, and like veterans that was like 10 years in the league plus.
Got Thomas
Like, come
Davis
on, like
during practice every day.
TD, like it was a whole situation. Like he
Had
had
Steve.
bets at every position though. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't have that.
Right.
This guy did not have vets at every position that can be able to say, hey, look, this is the way it was and how things went. He had Shaq Thompson.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying Shaq knew the way, but Shaq was a baby
Yeah.
when he came in with us. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was a whole thing that was set up for him to have success. And so we cannot look at that and say, all right, well, let's throw him out with the baby in the bath water. Like, nah, like that's a system that we put ourselves into. So we got to work through that. And I think now, with Dan being as the GM and the head coach now, Gabe's coming over from Tampa Bay and being able to bring the system in. This is second year to it. I feel like he's more comfortable and settled into that position
Mm-hmm.
and for what the team want him to be now than he ever has been. And you can see that towards the end of the year as he got stronger. Like I remember myself ramping up towards the end of the year in 2014 as I got stronger as that position. I started to like lock it down. Like this is mine, and I'm not going nowhere. Like I feel like he's taking on that more so. His confidence, you can see it when he releases the ball. He knows exactly where he want to place it at. Like he's taking the right decisions, and that's risk factor is weighing in as you see his decisions being made when he's throwing a rock. And
Mm-hmm.
then what's so crazy? Hell, you look out to your left, you look out to your right, he got weapons everywhere. And the new kid from Arizona Tech, oh my gosh, I done
Yeah.
seen replays. That dude's a
Yeah. T
monster. I don't
Mac.
know how
Yeah.
I didn't
T
get
Mac
him.
got that radius, that catch radius
Dude, I mean,
out of the atmosphere.
that remind me. It is. It remind me of the guy in Tampa. Freak man, I don't want to
Mike
go
Evans.
against him. Mike Evans.
Yep.
Mike he man reminds me of that guy. Like ever since everything he does.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, you see what his career like. So
What's
only imagine
you you
where
you
you gonna be.
you matched up against Mike Evans?
Listen, did we ever match up against that guy? Listen, I mean, come on, man. You can go.
What? So, hey, because we are going to
Here,
eventually
bro.
play Tampa, what is the absolute key to matching up against a guy like Mike Evans?
Come on, bro. You gotta be physical. Every sense of the word.
Yeah.
He a big body. He a big guy. I mean, you playing off on him. Hell, you might as well just give him the rock. You might well guys, man, he's gonna bully you.
Yeah.
Like you playing off. Same thing you playing 8 yards off. They slant.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
ISO. Give me
basically
the
just
rock.
posting up in
That's
space. It's
it,
just
bro.
posting up in
Like you're
space.
not gonna stop that.
Yeah.
So you got to get inside. You got to let him feel you. You got to be in his space. How else you gonna be able to stop that? Because
Right.
I promise you, if you getting off on him, he gonna eat you for lunch. Not
Right.
only lunch, dinner, and then breakfast again the next morning. That's just how he is. That's how he plays. And the system is dedicated and predicated to that. And if
Mm-hmm.
you see that and you watch film and study his mannerisms and the routes and the combinations that they put him on, it's literally a easy pitch and catch for
Right.
him.
All right. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars, #1 pick of the 2025 draft. He's going to play both ways, they say. When he lines up at receiver, do you feel threatened?
Why? Like,
That's the #1 draft pick.
I mean, he was actually #2 draft pick, but
Or number 2.
that's 1 or 2. It kind of don't matter. But hey, it's like Von Miller saying like he went with Cam Newton. He won a Super Bowl, we didn't. So, no, man, I don't. Why would he threaten me? I think that's the biggest question. Why
Okay.
would he threaten me? What would I say he would do that would put me at a disadvantage?
Okay.
Other than the concepts, everything matters around the concepts, right? Route concepts. It's 2x2, 3x1, or they going into pro style. It all depends on where you at on the field, what concepts is coming to you, because he can only do so much within that formation.
Right.
And so you
So
can
three
pretty
by
much
one.
go
So
ahead
if he's in 3x1,
backside or
right,
front. Which
front
one?
side.
Front side, three receiver side?
Yep, 3 receiver side.
Okay, so where he's at?
He
Slide,
uh he,
inside, or
he
out?
is he's in the
Number three,
slot.
two, or one?
He's two.
Number three, two, one.
He's
Number
two.
two. Okay, number two in the slot. Okay, so what are we doing? We coming over in that trips, and we got three DBs, and so we playing a slot. Okay, so what would you want to play there? Would you want to play 3, 2, 1?
We're going two.
Okay, we want to cover two.
Yeah, two.
All right, so well, I'm jamming up
Hold
the
on,
team.
we are cover three. We are cover one team. Cover three. We cover one.
So
Cover
we're gonna
three
just
team, ain't
say
we?
for the
Yeah.
conversation, we'll play man. How about that? We'll play man. So all right, trips. We coming over. DB one, DB inside slot. He number two. All right, give me a route here. He'll probably end up with something like that. If you have the outside run a stop, he probably run a seam. Number one would like run a bender underneath like a drag. Therefore, I'll see that playing inside out of that. I'll let him pretty much go over me. I'll take away the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Everything inside, I would take away. Make him beat me over the top. Because guess what? I have a free safety roaming in the back. So he's going to play over that.
So would the linebackers have to be on alert?
Would the linebackers have to be on alert?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Safety
It wouldn't be
DBs.
it would be no linebacker on alert with that combination.
Well, as far as him catching across the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like if they want to get him moving with the rock, which I think that's what they would want to do, right? Slant,
yeah, okay.
dig.
Well, if they want to get him moving, then they'll put him in a formation of where they can slot. I'll say a 2x2. They can motion him to the other side,
okay.
And so therefore I can even bump the cornerback, or I can go with him.
Mm.
And if I go with him, he gonna probably end up running a slant. Because one thing is, mostly on those routes, you motion over, and then like he's going out like on the out route, but then he cut it back across my face on a quick slant. So therefore, receiver him, quick pass, he gets some yards, he gets some yak out of that. But for me, on that, I'm still gonna play inside leverage. I'm not gonna let him beat me across my face, because if he beat me across my face, then it's a lot of field to work with.
Right.
Like at least I got a 12th man with the sideline being able to trail his hip, if anything, and let the quarterback like Trevor Lawrence make a perfect throw. Like he gonna have to beat me from that standpoint. And ball skills, he got good ball skills, but I think mine's a little better. And I don't say that just because.
And I think this is cool because if for people that are listening, this is Josh talking through what should happen. But the main thing is you got to believe that you better than Travis Hunter. Period. Point blank. And especially at DB. Because how mental is it being on the island? If I had to play defensive back, I wouldn't make it. Obviously, my body type too big to play defensive back, but I mentally I would be out there stressed out.
Hey, they say the game is 90% mental, 10% physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say DP is 95% mental and the 5% is physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I'm gonna psych you out thinking it's gonna be physical, but really it's more so you doing all the work and I'm just there. You pushing against me. So it's not a less for me. Every single time I put my cleat on a blade of grass, I am the best player, person, human, whatever there is on the field that day.
Mm.
I am the best. And it don't matter who is out there.
Right.
Hell, you can have Megatron out there, all I care. I am the best on the field that day, and I will show you.
Right. Especially in between the whistles, right?
I mean, yeah, that's the 95%.
Because I know one time at practice, you got hemmed up. We ain't gonna talk about that. There's a lot of content out there, right?
What? What? I got hemmed up.
You got hemmed up, dog.
When I got hemmed up?
That red jersey got you up in the sky.
Oh, relax. Like,
I want you to clear the air because I want you to give your complete executed rundown of what
It's
happened.
wow.
Because really the last time we talked about it, we was on a Panther
Yeah, we was on that
couch
panel.
panel,
Yes.
and I actually like after we left that panel, I was like, you know what? I kind of remember it a little bit better now because you got an interception. I grappled you like you get an interception, run the guy down, make sure you don't score all the way. You end up taking off, and then Cam takes off with you. That's
Oh
all.
wow.
That's all I'm gonna say as far as what transpired on my end.
Listen, I mean the fact that we take credit or someone takes credit for the situation of me being on the ground is asinine. It's absurd. And if you go back and you truly, really dissect what took place and happened when we kind of like got ourselves together inside of that box, it was no him putting me on anything
Mm-hmm.
for the ground. It was the other way around if I wouldn't have got tripped by offensive lineman
Oh,
that was coming in to I
where, but
guess
where were your
mess with the whole show.
where was the defense at in all this, man? You
Bro,
need.
listen. Them boys over there getting some water somewhere, which is crazy to me because I'm just looking at it like Kurt was over there, and I'm like looking at Kurt, bro. Where were you at in the truth when when this all was happening? Only thing I seen was elephants on parade. It was just like the big guys over there in the white TD coming, but he ain't helping nobody. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, what was this about? So it's cool because it's always been like that. Me against the world. So
Hey,
I don't care, you know.
you know what? But it's just awesome because we obviously the same age. 87 babies out here.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how that locker room though. This what was so special about it? It was literally like everybody had a certain value as far as what type of brother you were, and
Yeah.
you owned it.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you the brother that's gonna get picked on, even though you better than everybody. You the like you the brother that's gonna get picked on for dressing this way, and you gonna still dress that way, and you gonna own what you doing because that's what makes you you. And obviously, Coach Rivera did a good job of allowing us to be ourselves, right? And didn't, shame anybody, didn't, try to, mute voices in the locker room. So that was a special locker room. It was literally a brotherhood. And that season was so special, man. When we talk about the Super Bowl, when we talk about playoffs, we talk about certain games. I want you to give the listeners here, what was one moment in that season that you can recall as far as like being like your favorite moment, right? And tie that into what it cost you.
What it cost me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Wow. Okay. That's a good one. Whew, well, I can say the most favorite moment that I had in that season, and I'll say that in the game, and I'll say that in the game wise, was when we played Arizona Cardinals in that divisional round
Mm.
NFC Championship. I mean, it was a magical, magical moment.
Yeah.
It was one of those I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys or ever went to Disney World and for the first time or open presents for the first time. It was one of those moments
Yeah.
that everything that you thought that could possibly go right went right.
Right.
It was like hitting the lock. It was ding, ding, ding. It's on. And we were so fired up for that game. I remember like, I mean, Wilkes, like, we was beating them by 40 before we even played the game because that's what the conversation was like. during that night
Oh
before we
yeah.
played them, like in the hotel we were
Yeah,
staying.
because Wilkes give that pregame speech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he met with us again after that.
Yeah.
And we gonna beat them by 40. It was like 30 or 40, like before we even got there. And just that energy that was there that night was just
Yeah. Who were
I
these
I don't
guys?
even think I went to sleep.
You know
It was
what?
like
I that playoff run, there's the night before the games, I can tell you I probably got 3 hours of sleep every night.
that's right.
Because I was just up. I was
Yeah.
just up.
Yeah. I mean,
And
we were so bro, it was so revved up, man.
yeah.
It was like practice wasn't even practice no more. It was just like, look, let's get to this game and let this bag
Yeah.
off.
Like, coach, we know the plays. Let's get to it.
Like
I can
it
tell
wasn't
you
even.
I can tell you I wasn't practicing. I know that.
it
I was
was like a glorified walkthrough.
yeah.
Like we was kind of like, nah, man, we ready to like take whatever aggression we had out on the opponent. And I can remember like that night, it was so special. And also, and I do want to say this, Seattle, when we was playing them, I think it was a week before we played Arizona. Like that game,
Yeah.
we routed them son of guns by 28 in halftime. Like it was bad,
Yeah.
bad.
And they was complaining about the field conditions afterwards.
Yeah, I was
It
like,
snowed
what was
that it
that
snowed
about?
didn't it snow that week? It snowed earlier that week. It was cold. We was out there with no sleeves on. Like we
It
was
was
really tapped in. We was really tapped in.
it was nothing like the bank in the fall
Mm-hmm.
because it was the natural grass and you can sink in and you literally was out there and you guys was like Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
like then no sleeves.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
cold as ever. I like nah, y'all got that, but it was just a momentum that you like we fed off the crowd.
Yeah.
We fed off of them too. And it was just like the atmosphere that was around it. Everything was so high, you
So like
know?
so going back to what it cost you, right? That was that moment. Like what about everything that led up to that? Like if you had to break down what it cost you, so that way a young kid or a current guy in college in the pros could understand what it took Josh Norman to get to that point, what was it?
Oh,
That
oh.
those moments.
It was what it cost me was the ultimate sacrifice of self.
Mm,
Um, it cost me uh doing the right thing at the right time when nobody else was looking. It also cost me dying to my flesh,
mm-hmm.
which was something that I never quite understood or experienced, until, I had to sit down and ride the pine for a whole year. Um, but also through that, being able to work out the differences and what we was having during that time. And I truly, if Mark Carrier wasn't there, I don't know if we would have
Shout
made
out to
it.
Mark, man. Shout out to Mark, baby.
I don't know if we would have made it as far as we did because I tell you, he was definitely my counselor.
Yeah.
He was a guidance counselor for me, and I was able to go up to him on a weekly basis. He was being able to give me this rope. His rope was this long, and then he extended it, and then he extended it, and then he extended it, and let me know, like, okay, I'm on a good track.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me. And I'll say, like, it cost me that being able to break down self and actually saying, okay, I can't do this alone and I need some help.
Mm,
And for young guys, if you hit the wall and you're struggling, I would say go to a player personnel or someone or that's there that can walk you through your mind
yeah.
and how you can overcome certain things that are unbeknownst or unseen to you
Yeah.
that is hindering you from being able to be your best self. And
That's
nothing's wrong with that.
that's huge because especially for men, Like we oftentimes just get so beside ourselves and think that we can take on the world, right? Because we're asked to. You watch movies, you listen to music, and it's all about self-made. It's all about like you gotta suck it up, right? And
You
can't
do.
complain. You have to figure it out. And
Oh,
what they don't tell you is if you actually wrap arms around another guy and say, "Hey, I need help. We can do this together," because this life is a little bit hard, especially playing football in this
right.
football life, this football atmosphere where it's, what have you done for me lately environment, right? The
Right.
pressure can build up so much to where it's so stacked up on you to where guys do crumble and they don't reach their full potential. So everything that Josh just said right now, y'all need to write that down because that's not something that a lot of people would necessarily confess, right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. And I was reminiscing, not saying that at one point in time because it was just so imperative that I got that out, and it was a trigger that you said that because it brought me back to that point in time.
Hmm.
Because a lot of things that we do and we go through in life, we don't see what made that turn of events happen.
Yeah.
And that was a big, huge turn of events. That's how I got my alter ego, if we really want to be honest.
Oh, let's talk about
Because
that. I want to hear that.
it just because it was a psyche. Like I was trying to figure out how to get on the field, man. I was in a doghouse for a minute. Like it was when not like rocking with
Yeah.
J No at all.
Yeah, we was
Like
like
it was
Mint
not
Street. We
rocking
were
with me
calling you
at
Mint. We
all.
called you at one point Mint Street All Star.
Dude, listen here, bro. I was a terror. I'm talking about
Oh no, you was a.
terrorizing.
We called you Cedar Street All Star. That's where the practice field is, ladies and
You
gentlemen. He
talking
would show
about?
up. He would show up in practice real nice.
Listen, that's the only way I could get my Sunday's best in practice. I was
Mm-hmm.
a practice all-star player. You tell me, like they had to stop me and put me on the side. They said, Steve, we couldn't go with you no more. They stopped putting me with Steve after a while. It was bad, man. It was bad. But I got with Mark and we was able to find ourselves because like I built something that's inside of me. And that was just the notion of listen, you got to smile more. You got to be more enthusiastic, even when it's not going your way. Like I had this scowl about me that was just like I was bad to be around
Mm,
because I knew I was getting like taken for a ride, but I showed like I was getting taken for a ride too. So no, I wanted to be around that, and I gave that off. And so I really had to like go in and talk to him and really had to break that down. And he taught me and had made me see it a different way. And so now instead of that scoundrel that I had on my face, it was more so that Joker smile.
yeah. Yeah.
Knowing I was BSing all the while. No, there you go. But like, and it was something they did that I didn't like.
Why so
Still, I did it.
serious?
Knowing I was just like, I'm gonna get you back, but right
Yeah.
now I'm not gonna smile. And so I just carried that on, and for so long it became a thing. It became a real thing, and so I learned through that well, no matter what circumstances or what situations you've been put in, just go through it with a smile, even when you don't want to. It's gonna change the whole notion of a person's day.
Yeah.
And I found that out, and I'll tell you what, even when I didn't, I did. And I finally made my way on the field.
Yeah. And the
And
rest
I
is
literally
history.
had to.
And
Yeah, the rest was history. I mean, that was like, when it was the Ravens and Steve Smith, they was playing, I kind of like had to at that point.
right. I
you
mean,
know.
and when we say history, I'm talking about my man. He all of a sudden became part of pop culture, ladies and gentlemen. One on one with the corner with no safety help. I
That was
performed
wild.
like Josh Norman. I ain't normal. Like,
Nah.
who was the first person you talked to after you heard that you was in a Jay-Z lyric?
Who was the first person? I don't. First person I talked to after himself.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I was riding the car, man. I was like, okay, you turn on tunes. I'm just sitting there in the stay riding back. We was in LA, and it was like, man, listen to this. I was like rocking to it. Okay, I heard a little bit, and then like doing his verse, he said the verse, and I was just like, cool, cool, cool. And I'm just like, and he was like, play it back, play it back. He was telling that to the drop, play it back, and then he played it again. And I said, wait a minute, hold up, hold up, wait a minute. I performed like my name, right? I'm
Yeah.
not normal. Yeah, and he was just bopping to it.
Oh, so
I'm
you
like,
was in the car
whoa.
with Jay-Z?
I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
You was in
That's
the car with
just
Jay-Z?
yes.
I did not know that.
I know a lot of people don't know that. I just
Hey,
don't keep
man,
that to the side. I
listen.
got a
So
lot of
you
stories. I got a lot of stories too. I don't say a lot of things that happen going on, but it's just
yeah.
those things are a part of like, I keep them for a rainy day in certain situations. But that was just like the authentic, like it was authentic.
Authentic.
It was
Yeah.
real. It
That was
was
a real
just
moment.
a moment where like we ride, we vibing, we go from there back to the spot and just we break down with just intellectual talking, brother.
Mm,
It was just different. The whole wave was different, and the bigger part of that is they was trying to recruit me to come Raw Nation.
yeah.
But I think that was a part of it, and just him being able to break that down and saying that I'm actually I be doing stuff like that
Yeah.
too. So it made sense. And for him to do that, I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. Cause I really thought that was just him just rapping. I didn't know that was gonna come out to like on this album or something. I didn't know that at all.
Right.
I just thought
Oh,
that was like a freestyle. He was just hitting or something. But it
yeah.
was crazy how it went down, and I didn't. I took that as a sign of appreciation and salute for what we've been doing, how we've been holding it down,
Yeah.
and then I didn't take it no further than that because again, a lot of people they use stuff for things, and I don't look at it like that. I look at it as an appreciation, so I don't go around twirling and going places with it. But I will say after that, seemed like every other rapper kind of rapped about something around it.
Yeah.
Like, let's go to all them boys, man. I found like, all right, that's what's up.
Right.
But it's just the mindset that we had back then that we didn't even know that, those things are going to take place. But when you're doing good and your foot is in the right path, then everything just opens up to you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, dude. Cause I mean, after that, I mean, Dancing with the Stars, and not just like, oh, an appearance, runner up now. Like you
Yeah,
got the
man.
footwork, right? So you got Dancing with the
Dude,
Stars.
yeah.
You just won a celebrity poker tournament.
Dude,
Talk
listen,
about
man.
that. How'd you get in that?
Dude, I'm unlocking characters left and right. I I swear I don't be knowing I be having half of this stuff. That's why I said from that song, man, we not normal.
You
I
not
believe it
normal. You
now.
not normal. You aren't.
Dude, listen, I was not planning on winning. I went into it with just an open mindset, an open heart, but something inside of me from my past way back or something decided, hey, look, you guys, you can play this game. I've never played poker in my life. Never played
Wow.
the game ever, like ever. And I still to this day don't really know how to play it. Like I was just, playing the cards that was being dealt. And honestly, I saw like if it was a high card, if I was a little bit high, I would keep it. If it was a low card, I'd kind of throw it back in a little bit. But like I was just playing off the board, and I feel like the competitiveness that we have to not want to lose just took over
Mm-hmm.
because it felt like a game type atmosphere. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, and I know that's probably a gateway, and I don't need to do it no more. But it felt great in the moment, man. It really did. And I didn't know I had that talent or unlocked that new talent trait that I had inside of us.
yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that, I'm beginning to explore more within myself, knowing that it's more to us than just playing ball, man. I think and a lot of us get so trapped into that mind state that we could do so much more out here like that. When Haynes hit me up, was like, hey, look. come out here. He been trying to get me to come out there for a minute to Vegas
Mm-hmm.
to do that. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, bro, I do not gamble. I do
Oh, I
not do
think
any
that.
of that
Oh,
stuff.
that Haynes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
gang. So, and it was just like, yeah, man, I ain't doing that stuff. He was like, nah, man, we got you covered. Don't worry about all that. I was like, all right, man. Like, let me
Yeah.
make sure it all lined up. Lined up. Came out to Vegas. And, you know, I just had fun with it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just had fun with it. And then the proceeds that I ended up winning were first place. I think it was like 20 grand. I'm pretty much donating to church. I'm
Oh,
getting half
good.
of the church, giving back to benevolence, and then the other half going to Benin, Africa.
Oh,
So the
word.
kids over there, so they start school on the 15th. So I'm getting them all like their school supplies for us, the school.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's kind of what we do, man. That's kind of what we doing. And I think for us, it's just having fun and being in the moment and exploring and unlocking more talents that we don't know we got.
Yeah. Dude, this is crazy because I mean, you're tapped into so many different things, and there's probably way more that would require us to have another chat, which I hope you're open to it because I think a lot of people are going to enjoy Josh Norman talking about all the things that God has been doing in your life, man.
Oh yeah.
Because I think you're a true testament to what, hard work and staying in your lane and keeping your head down and not worrying about the chatter and what that can do for you when it comes to what God is trying to do in your life for you and through you. Um, so kudos to you, man.
Brother.
I want to give a huge shout out to you. Still got you and your mom still doing the coffee joint in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Still
So
doing that, man.
Omni. If you guys are
Yep.
going to be in Atlanta for any reason, I know one reason will be at some point we're going to be playing the Atlanta Falcons,
Mhm.
Carolina Panther fans. If you guys are down there in Atlanta and you're looking for some coffee and some breakfast, go to Omni Coffee and Eggs, okay, and get you some grub and some coffee. Period. Point blank. Is there anything else that we can do to support you, brother?
Ah man, listen, brother. I'm glad I was able to get free to support you and what you're doing. I think that's is just tremendous. You've been able to take your talents from the game and put in something that you're passionate about and you love. And that's all that matters in the end of the day, man.
Mm,
And like just being more, aware of your surroundings and the guys that you've been able to work with, guys you've been able to reach back to from the team.
mm-hmm.
And just, loving up on them. I think that's the biggest thing, man.
Yeah.
Just we built such a group of tight knit folk guys, man, that we just love up on and being able to help each other out in circumstances that we going through. And even Lou, he has something going on, and I know I'm gonna jump on with him too as
Mm-hmm.
well. But it's just each other's, you know, each one teach one, and each one being around each other to help them and build them up. And I think God, He's been able to be in a place to raise up men such as the times and days that we in now, to being able to, you know, carry His word across and to give more likeness to each other and bring more light and positivity into the
Mm-hmm.
world that so it is now. It's a little different, but I will say, I'm very much so appreciative that I'm here during this time and this moment, so I can make change and impact and be a world changer for many and a like souls of mine to be able to win for the kingdom. So,
Man, I appreciate your time, bro.
yes, sir.
Love you, man. Stay safe. Tell Lou I said what's up.
Love you too, brother. You too. Y'all be safe and be blessed out there. All right.
All right, bro.
All right. Peace.
Bye.